Hi Jenny, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. I was a little tired from a long day at work, but besides that, pretty good.
Good. So how are you feeling in this moment right now?
Well, it's been a while since I've been at work, so I would say I'm pretty relaxed now, not as tired as I was earlier.
So you've had a little relaxing day?
Yeah, I've been kind of lounging around since I got home, so
Fun.
thanks for
So what was the best thing that happened this past week for you?
Well, this past week I got to make cookies, and I haven't really baked in a while, so that was fun for me.
Good. So you had a good positive experience with baking then?
Yeah, it kind of put me in a good mood just because it's just something I haven't done in a while.
Sure. So last time we met, we made a couple goals. Is there one of them that you would like to talk about first?
I guess my big goal would be that I wanted to decrease stress,
Mm-hmm.
and then just like I don't know, finding different ways to do so.
Yeah, so what one of the ones we talked about last time would you want to conquer first?
So I think that I wanted to find different ways to decrease stress, and so something that I made a goal was to work out more this week and eat more.
Okay, so which of those two would you like to talk about first?
Let's start with working out.
Working out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what was something that's positive that came from this goal this past week?
Well, before kind of making these goals, I really didn't work out like all that much. I did a little, but I definitely exceeded my expectations and what I thought I would possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
I my exact goal was to work out 5 times a week, and I actually went all 7 days. So I was kind of proud of myself.
Yeah, so it sounds like you had a really positive experience with this then.
Yeah, and I mean even now I'm still like sticking with it.
Great. So explain to me what was the best experience with this goal this past week.
Well, not only did I like exceed my expectations here for the amount of time, but I kind of made smaller goals in between, like um, how far I could run or how much weight I could lift, and so I made goals with that, and that kind of made me more motivated.
Sure. So it sounds like you didn't really run into any challenges at all.
Not really with this one, no.
Fantastic.
It's kind of relaxing being able to do that and not have anything blocking the way.
Sure. So what did you learn from this experience, do you think?
I think that I learned that like if I follow through with my goal, like, and I motivate myself, that it's easier for me to do. And I had to motivate myself, so like it was put me pushing myself more instead of like having the environment push me, I guess.
Sure. So it sounds like you really came a long way. So you figured out a way to help you de-stress, and you also found a way to help yourself and motivate yourself to get to the gym and really succeed at that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So what percentage of success do you think that you would have for this goal?
Well, since my specific goal was to go 5 times a week and I went seven, I would say probably more than 100% just because
Yeah.
if 5 times a week is not 100%, it'd be more than that.
Great. So we also set another goal last week. So
Mm-hmm.
you said it was the painting.
Mm-hmm.
So is it okay if we talk about that now?
Yeah, no.
Okay. So what was something positive that came from this goal?
Well, I already kind of knew that I liked painting. It was a hobby of mine. So, and I had a couple projects to work on this week. So, I was able to get both of those done.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that the positive part was that I was able to paint again, where usually during like school year and stuff, I don't have as much time. So it's nice to be able to have the time to paint.
Yeah. Fantastic. So it sounds like you really got back into something that you really enjoy and you really had time to do it this week.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So what was your best experience from this goal?
I think I was just kind of proud of myself with the outcome of it all. As much as I love to like paint and see the action of it, I also like to see the outcome and
Mm-hmm.
be able to look back and see what I did.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So it sounds like you didn't really have any challenges with this one either.
I did have one challenge on one of my projects.
Uh-huh.
So I think the problem with it was that I had a deadline that I didn't know if I was going to make, and because it was for an event.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was working on it, I didn't know if I was going to have enough help on it, and it was supposed to be like more than one person
Yeah.
project. So that actually did increase stress a little bit when I like thought about it, but during the actual action of painting, it was fine.
Sure. So even though the timeline cost you a little bit of stress, like the physically painting was still a good stress reliever for you.
Yeah, when I was in the moment.
Perfect. So what did you learn from this school?
I learned that like sometimes I wouldn't give myself a deadline, so like that kind of was a new thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just learned, to be able to like manage my time, which normally I don't ever have to worry about if I'm painting for myself.
Yeah. So it sounds like you really had good time management skills this
Mm-hmm.
past week with your painting, and you also really enjoyed it and found that it was a great stress reliever for you.
Yeah.
Great. So what was your percentage of success for this one?
I would say this one would probably be a little lower just because it did increase stress, which I was not looking for in
Yeah.
this. So I would say between 70 and 80%.
All right. Fantastic. So when we first started meeting, we made a 3-month goal. So I just want to kind of touch base back on that 3-month goal to make sure we're still on track. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. So the 3-month goal was just to release your stress, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
To decrease it. Mm-hmm.
So do you think that this is still relevant?
Yeah, I think it'll be something that will always be relevant.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially in this 3 month time, I think that would work out.
Great. So what was your best learning experience from this 3-month goal?
I think that the most important thing I learned is that there are different ways to decrease stress, and what I've made in my short-term goals along with the main goal was to find different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that I learned that I could find decreasing stress in different hobbies and activities.
Awesome. So do you still feel pretty committed to this goal then?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it.
Great. It sounds like you have a great handle on it then.
Yep.
Awesome. So now that we've gone through your goals, I'd like to talk about something that's like really important to you right now, if that's okay.
Yep.
So what do you think would that topic be? Like, is there something that's really important to you right now?
I think something that falls in this 3 month period will be my sister's wedding in June. So that's something that would probably add more stress than needed.
Sure. So what do you really want right now with relation to this topic?
I guess since it is a stressful event, even for even though it's not my wedding, but I'm still in the bridal party.
Sure.
I think that I want just to not stress out about something, especially when it's not my own wedding. I don't know how I would react on this, in the future for that. So I need to learn to get around that.
Sure. So tell me about some strengths that you have that can help you move forward with this.
Well, I think these small term goals are working out. I usually have a pretty good support system, like at school, and so I think that it's also helpful that my sister is in Arkansas, and everything's taking place in Chicago. So I think being in Iowa right now is something that's really helping out and good for me.
Yeah. So you said your environment, just simply being in a different state, is helpful. Is there anything else in your environment that can help you move forward?
Like I kind of mentioned, my support system is like being around my friends more than being around my family at this time. So I think just like who I'm with.
Yeah. So tell me more about like why this is causing you stress.
My sister and my mom are kind of like two opposite ends right now. My sister knows what she wants in her wedding at all times, and then my mom kind of challenges things, and I noticed for myself it's easier just for me to just agree with my sister, and then she's just kind of quiet about it after. Whereas my mom will challenge my sister and then talk to me about it, and then try to get me to be on her side when it's just a picking sides thing that doesn't really need to happen.
Sure. So you're kind of acting like the middleman between the two.
Yeah. So it's kind of difficult because I know what my opinion is, and then I don't really want to be between them.
Sure. So would this be kind of like the con around this issue then?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So what do you think like a pro would be then from this whole experience?
Like what? Being a middleman, or
just like what you've learned from this experience with like dealing with stress and stuff.
I would say that I kind of noticed that maybe I might be less stressed than both of them, but it's still something that causes stress. But I could learn, how to deal with being a middleman because it probably won't be my only time.
Sure. So like on one hand, you're feeling really stressed because you are the middleman between your sister and your mother. But on the other hand, like you're kind of learning that there are different ways to deal with your stress, and you've kind of figured out different ways to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. So if it's okay with you, I would like to explore this a little bit more through brainstorming. Brainstorming and coaching is a little bit different than what you would normally think of when you think of brainstorming. So what happens here is we take turns giving different ideas, and there really isn't, like, we're not going to examine these ideas right now or anything like that. We're just going to kind of get them down on paper and go from there. Is this something that you'd be interested in doing?
Yeah, I think it would probably help.
All right. So do you want to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. Let's set like 4. I think 4 would be a good number of ideas to get. Okay. So I'll go first. So let's do like set number of times that you're going to talk to your mom this week.
Okay. I guess then maybe I could talk to my sister first about to figure out her ideas on things, just so I can talk if my mom talks to me about wedding at things that I will know what my sister wants.
Sure.
So help her out with that.
Okay. So all right, talk to sister first. Then you could, going kind of off that, you could like set aside one specific day to talk with your sister about the wedding stuff. Day talk with sister about wedding. Okay.
Okay, and then this would be more of a one-time thing, I guess. Would be I'm going to be seeing my sister in about a couple weeks for her bridal shower, and this will be the last time that I will see her in person before the wedding. So maybe I could just have her lay out everything for me, that exactly what she wants, and just have her give out her opinion one last time, kind of thing, for everything set in stone.
Okay. So, all right, have sister show all plans. All right. So I think that we have a really awesome list here. So I think that all of these should really help you move forward.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
good. So now that we have kind of this list of ideas, do you want to pick one that we'll kind of explore a little bit more?
Yeah. Probably, since the last one would only happen once, I think that setting time to talk to my mom might be a good idea to start with.
Okay. Do that one then. So that number of times to talk to mom. So tell me what you would think you would do more with this goal.
Well, something that causes me a little bit of stress too is that right now, when my mom and I talk, it's mostly about my sister's wedding, and I feel like, if we had more conversations about, like, I don't know, just other things happening, that it might be less stressful on both of us.
Sure.
So I think if maybe I set aside time to talk to her, that would be just about the wedding, then she can get everything out, I don't know, like, a certain amount of time a week.
Sure.
So I think that would be helpful.
Okay. So do you think like one night a week would be a good time to call your mom about this stuff?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I probably don't want to talk about this all that much, I guess, with her.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, one night would be good.
Okay.
Probably in the middle of the week, just because that's when the least stress occurs.
Yeah.
Like Mondays are just Mondays, and Fridays I don't want to deal with any arguments. So
Yeah.
I don't know, probably Wednesday or something.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay. So you call your mom on Wednesday night, and then do you want to start right in? Like, are you just gonna like start the conversation off, be like, "Hey, mom, I'm here to talk about the wedding," or do you want to talk about something else? How are you gonna start that conversation?
Well, probably the first time that I tell her I don't want to talk about the wedding every time would be like, I'd probably try to start the conversation veering away from the wedding, and then since usually she does go into that, maybe she starts talking about it. So tell her, okay, can you call me, Wednesday night? Since I don't have a lot of time, usually it's the ends of the week.
Mhm.
Um, so I think that might work better. And that way, if it's not starting a conversation about the wedding on the time that I don't want to talk about it.
Sure. So you're gonna call your mom on Wednesday night and just specify to your mom that this is the time that you want to talk about the wedding, and this is kind of where you want to get it all out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just that one day.
All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're absolutely not gonna be able to do this, absolutely not, and 10 being piece of cake, I'll do it tomorrow. Where do you kind of feel you're sitting right now?
Um, I feel like it would probably be in the middle, just because I know that I'm capable of doing it, but it's also a two-person thing.
Sure.
So if she were to go along with it, I'd definitely give it a 10, but knowing her, it'd probably be on the other side of the scale because she just likes to talk. So, so that's why I'd probably say in the middle would be like the right level for it.
Okay. So are you thinking like 5-ish?
Or 5, 6, yeah.
Okay. So why in the middle and then not more like a 1 or 2?
I think that is something that would definitely help. So I'm not going to stray away from the idea,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it'll be easier once it gets started.
Sure.
Like once I kind of train her, I guess, to only talking once a week.
Yeah. So what do you think it's going to take then for you to become like a higher number, like a 7 or an 8?
I think I'm just going to be persistent. And to be more assertive, I guess.
Sure.
Sometimes I just let her talk, but then I think that it should be my turn more to talk in order to make it easier for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So tell me about your support system that can help you out with this goal.
Well, normally what I do is I talk to my friends, um, and like my friend Lizzie is um, probably the person I talk to most about everything.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of knows what's going on, so it's helpful to have that behind my back helping me out.
Sure. Tell me more about Lizzie.
Well, she's my best friend, and we tell each other everything because of, you know, just lame little things or whatever. So I know that she'd be ready to listen.
Mm-hmm. So you feel pretty confident that she'll be there for you, listen to you all you
Yeah, because I don't always need advice for everything. I just need someone to listen, and so she'll do whatever she knows that I want. We know each other well enough.
Absolutely. All right. So is there like tell me more about like your environment and how this can help you assist you in this change.
Well, I guess um, I work all day at a school, so this is something that I have this whole day of work that I don't have to, you know, I guess not that I don't have to talk to my mom, but I don't have to talk about the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of affects it a little bit, where it's not something where I have to be on the phone all day listening about it. And then since, like I said earlier, like the midweek is probably the least stressful just based on work and everything, that it makes it easier just to compress it to one day.
Yeah. Fantastic. So tell me, just to make sure we're kind of on the same page with this goal, can you tell me in your own words kind of what you're thinking this goal will look like?
I'm just hoping that it looks like, or what it looks like to me is that, I guess for the start of it, that I tell my mom, well, I mean, I guess unless she brings up the wedding, that I'm not going to talk about it until she does bring something up. And then once she does, I'll just tell her that, I'd prefer a specific time once a week to talk about it just because I do have a lot of other things to do and there's a lot of other things I like to talk about. Um, so I'm hoping that it'll eventually just turn into once a week talking about the wedding, whereas I can talk about other things with her and then the other kids.
Fantastic. So it really kind of sounds like you know exactly what you're going to do then for this goal.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so now let's take a look back at the things that we came up with for brainstorming.
Okay.
Is there a second goal you kind of wanted to set?
Well, I guess to go along with that first one, the talking to my sister first could be a big one just because if I do talk to my mom once a week, that I kind of want to know what's on my sister's mind as well.
Mhm.
So I should probably talk and talking to her first before talking to my mom and make it easier to schedule it out.
Sure.
So let's look at that one.
All right. So we have set aside a day to talk to the sister about the wedding. So let's explore this one a little bit more. So what time of day or what time of the week would you like to set aside to talk to your sister?
Um, well, we both have kind of different schedules, so I definitely would have to talk to her about that.
Mhm.
And I work till around 4ish usually, so I'd probably want to talk with her at night as well.
Mhm.
And probably in the beginning of the week, probably more like Tuesday, just because, like I said before, I'd rather not start my week off like that.
Yeah.
And then it'd just be, very recent information between her and my mom. So, yeah, I'd say Tuesday nights if it's available for her.
It's available. Okay. So do you think with this conversation you would start right off with wedding things?
That's something I could do just because I have my sister has a different approach than my mom.
Mhm.
So, and like I said before, when I talk to my sister about wedding things, I disagree with it, and it's not a stressful situation. So, that's something I really don't mind.
Sure.
Um, and then she would also be a lot easier to talk to about, confronting her about wanting to talk once a week, or,
Mhm.
telling her that I want to talk with her first before I tell my mom anything.
Sure. So we could have you call your sister on Tuesday night, simply just to talk about wedding plans, so you can kind of get the lowdown of what is going on between you and your mom, or not you and your mom, your sister and your mom.
Yeah.
All right. So if we look at this goal then on a scale of 1 to 10, again, 1 being absolutely not going to happen, and a 10 being easy peasy, where do you think you're going to fit a little bit in this one?
This one would definitely be easier,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say it would probably be more like a 7 or an 8.
7 or an 8?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So tell me why it's a 7 or an 8 and not really like 5 or a 6.
I guess like what I said earlier, it's easier to talk with my sister, so I know that we would have more of that compatibility while talking, where we would be able to agree with each other more, and
Mm-hmm.
she would definitely be more on board with me um, talking with her before talking to my mom than it would be to tell my mom I only want to talk to her once a week. So I think that's what differs between those two goals.
Mm-hmm. So tell me what it's going to take for you then to become like 9 or a 10 with this goal.
I think maybe just working through the process of it. Like if my sister is busier in the week, in the early part of the week, then I probably won't be able to, if I try to talk to her first, it might not work as well.
Yeah.
And that would probably kind of just throw the whole thing off.
Sure. So do you think those are things that you could probably handle? Like get talking to her and trying to see if they'll work?
Yeah, I'm hoping that I'll just be able to make time, because I think that's the only thing that's really straying away from being a 10.
Sure. Perfect. So do you still feel like you're at that 7, 8 range with that one?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe more an 8 and 9, just because it might be the idea of it is easier. It's just really the only thing is that's blocking it is time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about your support systems that will be able to help with this goal.
Well, I guess also, I mean, I don't talk to my sister about everything, but I think that I will have support from her.
Mm-hmm.
So, like she would be part of my support system in this. And then I also have a younger sister that kind of is in the same boat as me.
Yeah, sure.
So, she would also be part of my support system for that. She talks to my sister more than she does my mom about these things, though, because my mom doesn't really contact her about this. So I think this goal would be more important to talk to my younger sister about.
Sure. That way we kind of get both sides of
And
everything
then,
that's going on.
yeah, and then of course I have Lizzie if either of those don't work.
Perfect. You still got Lizzie.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So what in your environment is going to help you move forward with this goal?
Well, I think finding that time,
Mm-hmm.
and then also just being on board with everything. Just, yeah, making sure that it all works out.
Good. So again, can you just explain to me exactly what this goal is going to be, just so we're kind of on the same page and we're thinking the same thing here?
Yeah, okay, so for um in order to complete the first goal that we set, I want to be able to talk to my sister first about everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be able to talk to her hopefully Tuesday, if not Monday or Sunday, just to see what she, wants to talk about for the wedding and what, if there's any issues that arise, just
Mm-hmm.
so I'm prepared to talk to my mom on, that one day a week. Um, and then hopefully also part of the goal is finding the time. So, just doing that conversation and everything.
Fantastic. So it sounds like you've kind of got a whole handle on this and you're doing a really good job with it.
Yeah, I hope it works out.
Fantastic. Well, Jenny, our time is kind of coming to an end.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to thank you for really showing up and putting so much effort into this today's session. It really worked out nicely. So what are some things that you learned in today's session?
Well, I guess at the start of the session, I kind of learned, different things that decrease stress, and like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think of like, the baking cookies as a stress reliever until I realized that, it did put me in a positive mood. Yeah. So just like little things can put me in a positive mood when I least expect it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also kind of realized that there's like different goals within goals that really help reach that master goal.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Awesome. So it sounds like you've really gotten a lot out of today's session. You really figured out ways to cope with your stress in different ways than you ever thought was possible.
Yeah.
Great. So as a coach, I really respect any feedback that you have for me. So if there's anything that I can do differently in the coaching experience that was going to help you get to your goals better, is there any advice you can give me that I can help you out with?
I wouldn't say any sort of criticism, I guess, but I think that it really helps that you really seem like you understood my situation and were able to give me advice, which, in a case like this is something that I do need.
Yeah. I'm glad you got that out of this session. Fantastic. So looking at next week, is it okay if we meet the same time again?
Yeah, I think this time works.
All right. Well, perfect. I'll see you then. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.